The first sound I heard was the cracking of glass. Not from a window, but from the frozen lake below the mountain road as our SUV skidded across black ice and stopped inches from disaster. Snow slammed against the windshield like waves against a sinking ship. The sky had vanished behind a wall of white. For one terrifying moment, I thought neither of us would make it out alive. I still remember gripping the steering wheel so hard my fingers went numb while the blizzard swallowed everything around us. If you've ever believed that kindness can change a life and that second chances sometimes arrive when we least expect them, take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Storyverse. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories like this to life. The storm had arrived much faster than the weather forecast predicted. One moment the mountains were beautiful beneath a bright afternoon sun, and the next they became a frozen nightmare. My name is Rowan Mercer, and at the time, I worked as an operations manager for one of the largest hospitality companies in the state. My boss was Selene Hartwell, a woman whose reputation traveled faster than her luxury resorts ever could. People described her as brilliant, intimidating, impossible to impress, and completely devoted to work. Employees respected her, competitors feared her, and investors trusted her. Yet nobody seemed to know anything about her personal life. For 3 years I had worked directly under her supervision. For 3 years our conversations rarely extended beyond meetings, schedules, budgets, and deadlines. And now I was stranded with her on a remote mountain road. We had traveled together to inspect a newly purchased mountain property that the company planned to transform into a luxury retreat. The visit had gone smoothly. Contracts were signed. Architects had taken measurements. Everything was on schedule. Then the storm arrived. Cell service disappeared first. The roads vanished second. Visibility became almost non-existent. After nearly an hour of crawling through the storm, we spotted a narrow road leading toward an old mountain villa listed on one of the property maps. It became our only chance. The villa stood alone among towering pine trees, its stone walls dusted with thick layers of snow. It looked abandoned from a distance, but as we approached, we noticed faint signs of maintenance. Someone still cared for the property. A spare emergency key had been left in a lockbox for contractors. Within minutes we found ourselves inside. The heavy wooden door shut behind us, blocking the screaming wind outside. The silence felt almost unreal. The villa was beautiful in an old-fashioned way. Massive windows overlooked the mountains. Stone fireplaces dominated the main rooms. Wooden beams stretched across high ceilings. But beauty didn't solve our biggest problem. The power was out. No electricity. No internet. No phone signal. Just us. And the storm. At first, we remained professional. We searched cabinets for supplies. We gathered blankets. We located candles. We inventoried food stored in the pantry. The villa wasn't fully stocked, but there was enough to survive several days if necessary. Night arrived quickly. The blizzard intensified. Snow buried the roads. Every weather update we managed to catch from an emergency radio painted the same picture. Nobody was coming until conditions improved. That first evening felt awkward. Selene sat near the fireplace reviewing documents under candlelight while I chopped firewood outside between snow gusts. Even stranded in a blizzard, she somehow looked composed. I, on the other hand, felt exhausted. By midnight the temperature inside the villa had fallen dramatically despite the fire. The stone walls trapped cold air. The bedrooms felt like refrigerators. I layered blankets over myself and tried to sleep in a guest room. It didn't work. The cold crept through everything. Sometime before dawn I woke up shivering uncontrollably. My teeth rattled. My hands felt stiff. The fire in my room had nearly died. When I stepped into the hallway searching for more wood, I found Selene already awake. She looked pale. Tired. Human. For the first time since I'd met her, she didn't resemble the fearless executive everyone admired. She looked vulnerable. The realization surprised me. Hours later, the temperature continued dropping. The emergency radio warned residents to avoid exposure and conserve body heat. The villa remained isolated beneath layers of snow. By evening we both understood the situation had become serious. The fireplaces helped, but not enough. The cold seeped through every corner of the building. As darkness settled outside, Selene stared into the flames for a long moment before speaking quietly. She said we needed to stay warm however we could. Then she looked toward the large bed in the master suite and suggested sharing it beneath every blanket we could find. Not because of romance. Not because of attraction. Because survival came first. The suggestion caught me off guard. Yet she was right. The temperature was becoming dangerous. Pride had no place in a blizzard. That night we layered blankets over ourselves until neither of us could move. The room remained dimly lit by firelight. Snow hammered the windows. Wind howled through the mountains. And somewhere during those endless hours, the distance between boss and employee began to disappear. We talked. At first about work. Then about family. Then about life. I learned that Selene had lost her father when she was 19. His sudden death forced her to abandon college temporarily and save the struggling family business. She spent years sacrificing friendships, relationships, and personal dreams. Success eventually followed. But loneliness followed too. The powerful woman everyone admired had built an empire while quietly losing pieces of herself. For a long time she stared at the ceiling after telling me that story. Then she admitted something that shocked me. She couldn't remember the last time she trusted anyone enough to tell them. Outside, the storm continued raging. Inside, something softer unfolded. The next morning sunlight filtered weakly through clouds. The blizzard still blocked every road, but conditions had improved slightly. For the first time, we explored parts of the property surrounding the villa. Snow sparkled across the mountains like fields of diamonds. The landscape looked breathtaking. Silent. Untouched. We spent hours gathering wood, clearing pathways, and maintaining the fireplaces. The work created an unexpected partnership. No titles. No hierarchy. Just two people helping each other survive. As days passed, I began seeing sides of Selene nobody else ever witnessed. She laughed at terrible jokes. She loved old adventure novels. She secretly sketched mountain landscapes in a notebook she thought nobody noticed. And despite her reputation for perfection, she worried constantly about disappointing people. The woman who appeared fearless carried invisible burdens every day. One afternoon we discovered a small photo album tucked inside a bookshelf. Most pictures featured Selene as a child. Her smile looked carefree. Hopeful. The kind of smile adulthood often steals. She held one photograph for a long time. Tears gathered in her eyes. Not dramatic tears. Not attention-seeking tears. Just quiet grief. The kind people carry for years. Without thinking, I sat beside her. No speeches. No advice. Just presence. Sometimes that's all someone needs. The days trapped in that mountain villa changed both of us. I realized how often people are judged by their titles instead of their hearts. Others saw a wealthy executive. I began seeing a woman who had spent years protecting herself from disappointment. And somehow she began seeing me differently too. Not merely as an employee. Not merely as someone working beneath her. But as a person. A friend. Someone worth knowing. The storm finally ended after nearly a week. Rescue crews reached the villa shortly afterward. Roads reopened. Phones regained service. The world returned. Yet neither of us felt entirely the same. Back at work, life resumed its familiar rhythm. Meetings filled calendars. Deadlines returned. Projects demanded attention. But something had shifted. The invisible wall between us no longer existed. Months passed. Our friendship deepened naturally. There were no dramatic declarations. No fairy tale moments. Just conversations. Shared meals. Mutual respect. Trust. The foundation of something real. Then life tested us again. The company entered a difficult period when economic conditions worsened. Investors grew nervous. Projects stalled. Rumors spread about layoffs. Stress consumed everyone. Including Selene. For weeks she barely slept. She carried the weight of thousands of employees depending on her decisions. One evening I found her alone in a conference room staring through a window overlooking the city. The same loneliness I had seen in the mountain villa had returned. Except now it looked heavier. Older. I reminded her of something she once told me during the storm. That surviving impossible situations rarely happens alone. People need people. Strength isn't refusing help. Strength is accepting it. She smiled. A genuine smile. And for the first time, she allowed others to support her. The company eventually recovered. Employees kept their jobs. New opportunities emerged. And the crisis passed. But our connection remained. Nearly a year after the blizzard, Selene invited me back to the mountain villa. This time under clear blue skies. This time without fear. The property had been transformed into a stunning retreat exactly as originally planned. Guests wandered the grounds. Fireplaces glowed warmly. The place felt alive. As we stood overlooking the mountains, she confessed that the storm had changed her life. Not because she survived. But because she stopped hiding. She stopped believing vulnerability was weakness. She stopped carrying every burden alone. And then she thanked me. Not for saving her. Not for fixing her problems. But for seeing her. Truly seeing her. In a world where most people noticed only her title. At that moment I realized something important. The greatest gift we can offer another human being isn't admiration. It's understanding. Years later, people would still talk about the famous blizzard that trapped us in a mountain villa. Most assumed it was a dramatic survival story. They weren't entirely wrong. But they missed the most important part. The storm outside eventually ended. The storms inside us lasted much longer. And sometimes all it takes is one unexpected person walking beside us through the cold to help us find warmth again. Before we reach the ending, tell us in the comments, have you ever met someone who completely changed your life when you least expected it? Selene and I never forgot those days in the mountains. The frozen roads. The endless snow. The silence. The fear. Because hidden inside that blizzard was a lesson neither of us expected. Life often places strangers in our path for reasons we don't understand at the time. Some become memories. Some become lessons. And a rare few become the people who help us discover parts of ourselves we thought were lost forever. The mountain villa still stands today. Visitors admire its beauty without knowing the story hidden inside its walls. Without knowing that during one brutal winter storm, two lonely people found something far more valuable than shelter. They found connection. They found trust. They found hope. And in a world that often feels cold and distant, hope is sometimes the warmest thing of all. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to Storyverse for more emotional journeys that remind us of the power of kindness, compassion, and human connection. Thank you for listening, and remember, sometimes the storms we fear most are the very storms that lead us home.